You're sitting there in a silence that feels heavier than any argument you ever had with them. It's a strange, hollow quiet, isn't it? For months, or maybe years, your entire world was dictated by the stormy weather of their shifting moods. Now that you've finally walked away, or perhaps they pushed you out, there is this nagging question that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. You wonder if they feel the same void you do right now. I want you to take a deep breath because I see you. I know how much it hurts to feel like you were easily replaced or that your absence doesn't even register in their world. You look at their social media or hear through friends that they seem fine, maybe even happier than ever. But appearances are the only thing a narcissist has ever been good at. Behind that curated mask, there is a reality that is far darker than they let on. We often talk about the trauma they left behind in you, but we rarely talk about the haunting they experience when the lights go out. You see, when you left, you didn't just take your presence with you. You took the specific light you used to shine on them. You were the one who validated their false reality, and without that, the walls of their internal world start to feel very thin. It's a psychological survival game they are losing. Have you ever wondered why they were so desperate to keep you in a state of confusion? It's because your clarity is their greatest nightmare. As long as you were questioning yourself, you weren't questioning them. But the moment the door closed behind you, the power dynamic shifted in a way they can't fix with a simple text or a half-hearted apology. They are left with a silence that they don't know how to fill without your energy. Think about the way they used to look at you, that intense, piercing stare. It wasn't love, it was an inventory. They were checking to see if you were still there to buffer them against the truth of who they are. Now that you're gone, that buffer is gone too. They are standing on a ledge of their own making, looking down into a pit of irrelevance. And for a narcissist, being irrelevant is a fate much worse than being hated by you. It's tempting to believe that they are incapable of being haunted because they lack empathy. But haunting doesn't require a heart, it only requires a memory. They remember how much work it took to keep you under their thumb, and they know, deep down, that the game has changed. You are no longer a character in their play, and without you, the entire production starts to look a little bit pathetic. They feel that shift. You might feel like you're the one haunted by the what-ifs and the whys, but you are processing a loss. They are processing a failure. To them, you weren't a partner, you were a resource. Imagine a world where your only source of water suddenly dries up. You wouldn't be sad about the water's feelings, but you would be terrified of the thirst. That is the nature of their haunting. It is a cold, calculated, and terrifying panic. I want to tell you something that might be hard to hear, but it's the truth. You need to find your footing again. They don't miss you the way you miss them. They miss the version of them that existed when they were with you. You were the architect of their ego, building them up even when they were tearing you down. Without your labor, their ego is a crumbling building, and they are stuck inside it while the ceiling starts to crack. We are going to go deep into the mechanics of their mind today. Not because they deserve the attention, but because you deserve the closure that they will never give you. You need to understand that your absence is a loud, ringing bell in their head that they can't stop. They are haunted by the fact that they could not break you completely. You survived, and your survival is the ultimate proof that their power was always a lie. So, as we walk through these chapters together, I want you to remember that you aren't the victim anymore. You are the one who escaped the burning building. They are the ones left inside, trying to convince the smoke that everything is fine. We are going to talk about the secrets they hide from the world, and from themselves, about what happens when the person they thought they owned finally decides that they belong to themselves. Let's peel back the curtain on a mind that works differently than yours. To a narcissist, people are not complex individuals with souls, they are functions. You were a high-definition mirror that reflected back a version of them they desperately needed to believe in. When you left, that mirror didn't just crack, it vanished. Now, they are forced to stand in a room with no reflection at all, and that is where the haunting begins. The core of a narcissist is a black hole of shame that they have spent their entire lives trying to bury. They use people like you to pack dirt over that hole so they don't have to look at it. But when you walk away, you take all that dirt with you. Suddenly, the hole is exposed again. They feel the cold wind of their own inadequacy blowing through their chest, and they will do anything at all, to find a new way to cover it up. This is why they move on so quickly. It isn't because they are over you. It's because they are in a state of psychological emergency. They are like a person underwater who has just run out of oxygen. They aren't looking for their soulmate. They are looking for the nearest lungful of air. Whoever they are with now is just a temporary bandage on a wound that never heals. They are haunted by the knowledge that the bandage is going to fail. They are terrified of the quiet. In the quiet, the voices of their own self-loathing start to get louder. When you were there, they could distract themselves by criticizing you, managing you, or reacting to you. You were their favorite channel to watch. Now that the screen is blank, they have to face the internal monologue they've been running from since childhood. It is a repetitive, brutal loop of "you are nothing" that they can't turn off. Have you ever seen a child lose a toy and throw a tantrum, not because they love the toy, but because they lost control over it? That is the narcissist's haunting. It is a loss of agency. They are haunted by the fact that you made a choice that they didn't authorize. Every time they remember you, they are reminded that their magic didn't work. Their ability to enchant and imprison you failed, and that failure is a direct threat to their survival. They are haunted by the gaps. They remember the things you said during those final arguments, the truths you dropped that they tried to laugh off. Those truths are like seeds planted in the cracks of their mask. They try to pour concrete over them, but the seeds keep growing. They worry that you are out there telling other people those truths. They are haunted by the possibility that their carefully constructed reputation is bleeding out. Imagine living your entire life as a performance where the audience is always leaving. That is their reality. They are haunted by the leaving. They know, deep down, that everyone eventually figures them out. You were the latest one to see the man behind the curtain, and your departure is a confirmation of their greatest fear, that they are inherently unlovable. They don't feel grief, but they feel the crushing weight of that rejection. Their mind is a constant calculation of value. They are haunted by the idea that you might find someone who is better than them, because that would mean they are lesser. Everything is a competition. If you are happy, they are losing. If you are healing, they are failing. They stalk your life, either literally or through imagination, because they need to see you suffering to feel like they still have a seat at the table of your life. They are haunted by the mask slippage. They remember the moments they lost control and showed you the monster. They hate you for seeing that. It's like a criminal who hates the witness more than the crime itself. Your memory is a piece of evidence that could convict them in the court of public opinion. They are haunted by the fear that you will use your voice, because your voice is the one thing their charm cannot silence anymore. This is the secret chaos of their internal world. It's not a place of peace or cold indifference. It's a frantic, buzzing hive of anxiety and ego preservation. They are haunted by the ghost of the perfect provider you used to be, and the realization that they destroyed the very thing that kept them feeling human. They are left in the wreckage of their own ego, trying to find a piece of themselves that isn't broken. They never find it. There comes a moment after you've gone where the newness of their distraction starts to wear off. Maybe they found someone new within a week, or maybe they went on a spree of reckless behavior to prove they are free. But then the sun goes down, the new person falls asleep, and the narcissist is left alone with the ceiling. This is the turning point. This is when the realization of your permanent absence finally starts to sink in. Suddenly, the phone doesn't buzz with your check-ins. There are no more long-winded paragraphs explaining your feelings for them to delete. The drama has dried up. To a narcissist, drama is fuel. Without it, they are like a car running on fumes. They start to realize that by pushing you away or letting you go, they accidentally cut off their own power grid. The silence isn't peaceful to them. It is a deafening, terrifying roar. You can almost see the gears grinding. They might reach out with a Hoover, a random text about a lost sock, or a "hope you're doing well." It's not an olive branch, it's a fishing hook. They are testing the waters to see if they still have a psychic connection to you. When you don't respond, or when your response is cold and firm, a new kind of haunting begins. It's the haunting of the unreachable. You have become a locked door. This is where the anger turns into a frantic, low-level panic. They start to realize that you are moving in a direction they can't follow. You are entering a world of healing, and they are stuck in the same loop they've been in for decades. They see you thriving, even if it's just in small ways, and it feels like a personal insult. How dare you be okay without them? How dare you find a version of yourself that doesn't include their shadow? The shift in power is visceral. They used to be the sun, and you were the planet revolving around them. Now you've broken orbit. You are out there in the vastness of your own life, and they are left spinning in a cold, empty corner of the universe. They try to find a new planet to pull in, but the gravity isn't the same. They are haunted by the unique light you brought, which they now realize they can't find in anyone else. They begin to compare. Every new person is measured against the endurance you showed. They wonder if the new supply will stay through the rages. They wonder if the new person will believe the lies for as long as you did. They are haunted by the high bar you set for sacrifice. It's a twisted way of missing you, but it's the only way they know how. They miss your tolerance for their toxicity. That is their version of love. Watch how they start to spiral. They might post more, brag more, or become more visible in the places you used to go. It's a performance for an audience of one, you. They are trying to haunt you because they are being haunted by the fact that you aren't watching anymore. If they can't control your love, they will try to control your pain. But when that fails too, they are left with a terrifying sense of invisibility. It's like a script they've written where the lead actor walked off stage in the middle of the second act. The narcissist is standing there under the spotlight, reciting lines to an empty theater. They are haunted by the ending they didn't get to write. They wanted to be the one to discard you finally and forever, but you took the pen away. Your agency is the ghost that sits in the front row of every new play they try to put on. They start to rewrite the history. They tell everyone you were the crazy one, the abuser, the unstable one. But they are haunted by the truth because they were there. They know what they did. They might bury it deep under layers of delusion, but it's there, bubbling under the surface. Every time they tell the lie, they have to work harder to believe it. It's an exhausting 24-hour job to keep the haunting at bay. The turning point is when they realize you are no longer a possibility. You aren't the backup plan anymore. You aren't the one who got away, in a romantic sense, you are the one who escaped. There is a world of difference between those two things. Being the one who escaped means you are a living testimony to their failure as a human being. And that, my friend, is a ghost that will follow them into every room they ever enter. Now we enter the phase of the slow collapse. A narcissist's life is a series of peaks and valleys, but as they get older and lose their supplies, the valleys get deeper and darker. Your departure was a major structural blow. They are haunted by the passing of time. They realize that they are repeating the same patterns with new faces, but the returns are diminishing. The thrill of the hunt is being replaced by the exhaustion of the hide. They see the consequences in the mirror. Not just the physical ones, but the way their eyes look when they aren't performing. There is a flatness there, a hollowed-out quality. They are haunted by the deadness inside them. They remember how alive they felt when they were draining you. You were their fountain of youth, and now they are forced to drink from stagnant pools. They feel the rot of their own isolation setting in. They are haunted by the lost legacy. Most people want to leave behind a trail of love and meaningful connection. But the narcissist looks back and sees a trail of wreckage. They see the people they broke, the bridges they burned, and the families they fractured. They tell themselves they don't care, but the haunting comes in the form of a profound, existential loneliness that no amount of shallow praise can ever truly fix. They are haunted by the fear of being outed. Every person they've hurt is a potential whistleblower. They live in a constant state of low-grade paranoia. Did you tell your therapist? Did you tell your mutual friends? Did you write it down? They are haunted by the evidence of their true nature. They are like a master criminal who left a fingerprint at the scene of the crime, and you are the only person who knows where to look. The consequences hit hardest during the holidays or birthdays, or those quiet Sunday afternoons. They remember the traditions you tried to build and the ways you tried to make them feel special. They are haunted by the sincerity they threw away. They realize that while they can find someone to sleep with or someone to pay the bills, they can't easily find someone who will truly see them and still try to love them. They are haunted by the ghost of potential. They remember who they could have been if they hadn't chosen the path of manipulation. Sometimes, in a rare moment of semi-clarity, they see the life you are building now, a life based on truth and growth, and they feel a pang of what might look like regret, but is actually envy. They are haunted by the fact that you are capable of a depth of experience that they will never, ever touch. There is a specific kind of haunting that happens when a narcissist realizes their charms are fading. As they age, the pretty lies don't work as well. People become more discerning. They are haunted by the irrelevance of the ego. They are becoming a caricature of themselves, and your absence is the loudest reminder that the golden era of their control is over. They are a king with no kingdom, wandering in a forest of their own lies. They are haunted by the lack of inner peace. You are learning to meditate, to heal your nervous system, and to find joy in the simple things. They are incapable of that. Their internal world is a construction site that is always being demolished and rebuilt. They are haunted by the relentlessness of their own need. It never stops. It is a hunger that can't be satisfied, and you were the one who finally stopped trying to feed it. Think about the weight of the mask. It is heavy. It takes an incredible amount of energy to maintain a false persona 24/7. They are haunted by the tiredness. When you were there, they could offload that weight onto you. They could make you the problem, so they didn't have to be. Now they have to carry the mask alone. They are collapsing under the pressure of their own deception, and there is no one left to catch them. This is the final consequence, obsolescence. To the narcissist, you have become a ghost, but they are becoming a ghost to themselves. They are haunted by the nothingness at their center. When they reach for a real emotion or a real memory of connection, their hands come back empty. They are left with the one thing they feared most, the truth that without a victim to reflect them, they are just a shadow in an empty room. We've spent a lot of time looking into the dark, but I want you to turn your head back toward the light now. The haunting they experience is real, but it is not your burden to carry. Their internal chaos is the natural result of a life lived in opposition to the truth. You are not the cause of their pain, and you were never going to be the cure. You were just a temporary shelter they used while they were hiding from themselves. I want you to realize that the haunting you feel, the memories that pop up, the phantom pains of the relationship, is actually your humanity trying to reconnect with itself. You aren't broken, you are responding. You are processing a deep wound, and that takes time. But unlike the narcissist, your pain has a purpose. It is the compost that will grow the garden of your new life. Their pain is just a circle, yours is a path. They are haunted by your silence. I cannot stress this enough. Your no contact, or your gray rock, is the most powerful weapon you have. It is a vacuum that they cannot fill. By refusing to engage, you are essentially saying, you no longer exist in my reality. To a narcissist, that is the ultimate execution. You have reclaimed the energy they used to survive, and you are using it to build something beautiful for yourself. I want you to look at the strength it took to survive that. You were in the ring with a professional manipulator, and you are still standing. You have a capacity for resilience that the narcissist will never understand. They are haunted by your indestructibility. They thought they could erase you, but you are more vivid now than you ever were when you were with them. You are emerging from the fog with a sharper sense of self. The final truth is this: they didn't win. They might have the stuff, or the new person, or the image, but they don't have peace. You do. Or you are getting there. Peace is the one thing that cannot be stolen, faked, or manipulated. It is a slow-growing fruit that comes from living in alignment with your own heart. They are haunted by the fact that they can't buy, trick, or steal their way into the peace that you are cultivating. When you feel that urge to check on them, or when you wonder if they are thinking about you, I want you to remember the empty room. That is where they live. Even when they are surrounded by people, they are in that empty room. Don't go back into that room to see if they've changed the wallpaper. It's still empty. It's still cold. You have a whole world to explore now, a world where people actually mean what they say. Healing is a cinematic process. It starts in the dark, with just a tiny flicker of hope. Then the music starts to change. The colors get brighter. You start to notice the birds, the taste of your coffee, the feeling of a clean breeze on your skin. You are moving toward the final act of your recovery, where the narcissist isn't even a villain anymore. They are just a background character you barely remember the name of. Speak to your pain gently. Tell it, I hear you, but we are moving on now. You have been a witness to a great darkness, but that darkness has given you a superpower. You can now see the red flags from a mile away. You have an intuition that is razor sharp. You are no longer easy prey. You are a warrior who has been through the fire and come out with a heart made of something much stronger than it was before. As we close this chapter, I want you to feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. The haunting is over for you. You are giving the ghost back to the house it belongs in. You are walking out into the sunlight, and you aren't looking back. Their mind is their own prison, and you have the only key that ever could have helped them, but you used it to unlock your own cage instead. And that was the right choice. Every single time. The most profound truth I can give you today is that your recovery is the one thing they cannot manipulate or own. While they remain trapped in a cycle of seeking external validation to fill an internal abyss, you are learning to breathe on your own again. You are not a ghost in their story, they are a fading shadow in yours. Remember this, the moment you stop looking back is the moment they finally lose their power over your future. You're sitting there in a silence that feels heavier than any argument you ever had with them. It's a strange, hollow quiet, isn't it? For months, or maybe years, your entire world was dictated by the stormy weather of their shifting moods. Now that you've finally walked away, or perhaps they pushed you out, there is this nagging question that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. You wonder if they feel the same void you do right now.